Hi people, it's me, Anja, my pronouns all she and her, and welcome back to my channel for part 2 of my favorite black middle grade books. So with that said, I hope that this video helps diversify your bookshelf. And without any further ado, the first book on this list is called Ophie's Ghost. This story is a middle grade historical fiction, but it also has a bit of like paranormal in it because it follows a young main character in 1922 who can see ghosts. And she's a maid at this new manor that happens to be haunted by the ghosts of the former relatives of the owners. And lucky for her, like I mentioned, she can see them. I don't know if that makes any sense, but this book is absolutely so good and it's so underrated. First of all, the setting was so atmospheric and so well done. Typically, I don't really enjoy paranormal stories since I don't believe in ghosts, but the ways in which the author portrayed them didn't make them like scary or anything like that. Like it was more bittersweet, if that makes any sense. The plot was so engaging and so intriguing. Like the setting was so atmospheric and so educational. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. Literally the mystery was so captivating. This book is absolutely so good and it's so underrated. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The OK Witch. This story is a middle grade graphic novel that follows a young witch whose magic and history is tied to the town's legacy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically this book is so good and it's absolutely so iconic. This duology is so good and I love it so much. I'm so excited for the author's next graphic novel, which I believe either comes out in September or October. If I'm not mistaken, I have yet to finalize my September TBR. But anyway, this book was so good. First of all, the illustrations were so pretty, and they really made the story so much more vivid and vibrant than it already was. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. The magic was so interesting and so well done. I love the friendships. I love the family dynamics. This book is absolutely so good. And like I said, the sequel was really solid too. This duology is so underrated and it deserves so much more hype. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Frizzy. This book is another middle grade graphic novel following a young black main character who's learning to embrace her natural curly hair. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so timely and it's absolutely so important and it was so relatable too. When I was younger, I wanted straight hair like all the other white girls around me, and it took me a minute to embrace my natural hair, so I felt like I was reading a book that felt very healing towards my younger self, if that makes any sense. The writing was so pretty and so lyrical and so beautiful. This author is unbelievably talented and she's so good at what she does. Like the illustrations were so pretty and so vibrant. I loved the family dynamics. I loved the characters. This book is so good and it deserves so much more hype because it's so like stunning and relatable and timely and important, and I know that it can mean so much to young black people and old black people and like black people across the spectrum, you know what I mean? Anyway, the point is this book is absolutely so amazing and it's so well done. So with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Serwa Boateng's Guide to Vampire Hunting. First of all though, I know that you can hear the cicadas. I can hear them too, but there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm sorry. But anyway, for those who don't know, this book is a middle grade urban fantasy that follows a young girl who's a vampire hunter and she's just trying to survive normal middle school until her school gets infiltrated and she must hunt it down. This story is absolutely so good and it's so fantastic. The sequel is definitely going to be on my September TBR because I'm so excited to read it because this book was absolutely so fantastic and so good. First of all, the world building was so fantastic and so atmospheric and I loved it so much. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. The characters were all so well developed and so distinct. The friend group is so iconic and I truly love them. Like, I'm so excited to find out what will happen next in the sequel because I have no idea. This book is so good. I remember having really low expectations for it because I didn't love the author's YA debut, but this book was so good. In fact, I would say that this book is better than her YA books. But anyway, the point is, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and definitely not the least, is called Etta, Invincible. This story is a middle-grade urban fantasy that follows a young, black, disabled main character who gets entangled up in a fantastical mystery on a train. This story is absolutely so fantastic, and it's so good. First of all, the disability representation was iconic, and it was so good, and I love casual representation like this. Don't get me wrong, I love stories that are about like a main character navigating their internalized ableism, because trust me, that's incredibly relatable. But I also love stories where their disability is not the forefront main storyline either. You know what I mean? Like, both are equally important. But anyway, I digress. The point is, this book is absolutely so fantastic, and it's so good. The world building was so magical and so imaginative. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. The friendships were so lovely and so wonderful. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. This book is absolutely so iconic, and it's so underrated, and it deserves so much more hype. So with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to catch up on all of the recommended reads video ideas that I've had for literally months and months and months, so that I don't get too overwhelmed next year, if that makes any sense. Because literally, I have so many video ideas that if I filmed all of them right now, it could like bleed into probably October or November, because I have so many ideas, even though I upload twice a week. But anyway, the point is, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up, because I really hope this video helped diversify your bookshelf. Comment down below the butterfly emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!